Cricketer Virat Kohli, part of RCB Bengaluru, has reacted on the horrific stampede that took place today evening. He said that he is at a loss of words. He said that he's absolutely gutted by the tragedy that took place. Remember, the tragedy has led to loss of at least 11 lives and several people have been injured. At least 11 people have been dead and several people are injured in the stampede-like situation that took place outside Chinnaswamy Stadium today, and this was ahead of Royal Challengers Bengaluru's victory celebrations. Virat Kohli now has reacted to this tragedy and he has said that he's absolutely gutted by what really happened and he is at a loss of words. Remember that the RCB celebrations, a felicitation of the players, took place today. This is RCB's victory after 18 years. In fact, the first victory of the RCB in IPL. Remember, at least 11 people are dead and several people have been injured in the stampede that took place outside Chinnaswamy Stadium today, and several questions are being raised now. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah meanwhile has announced 10 lakh compensation to the families of those dead in this stampede. In fact, he held a press conference today even as BJP trains its guns on the Congress party, demanding accountability, saying that the administration's arrangements were completely inadequate. Siddaramaiah has said that the administration did not anticipate such a huge footfall. In fact, he said that nobody anticipated this kind of crowd, and he said that there were around 2 to 3 lakh people and 1 lakh had in fact gathered near Vidhan Sauda. Remember, 2 separate incidents took place, 2 stampedes there, and the Chief Minister also said that we or KSCA did not expect such a huge crowd, and the stadium capacity was around 35,000. We anticipated there could be around 35,000 people and a few more, but it really ran into lakhs. Most of the people who died, unfortunately, are young people, women. The frenzied celebration that took place in Bengaluru today over RCB winning the IPL title after 18 long years, it has taken a tragic turn with at least 11 people dead at 2 locations. And remember, the chaos began after this crowd gathered near Chinnaswamy Stadium for a felicitation of the team that was held by Karnataka State Cricket Association. The administration was also part of this. 2 of the 11 people who died during another frenzied crush on the premises of Vidhan Sauda, where the RCB squad in fact proceeded from the airport to meet with the Chief Minister. In fact, people had gathered there to just catch a glimpse of their stars.
Dream run that turned into a nightmare within minutes. Lakhs lined up Bengaluru streets to welcome the heroes, Team RCB. A day that started with euphoria turned into screams of death pain. A stampede, uncontrolled, unexpected, unforgivable. At least 11 lives lost. The official victory parade was called off in view of the crowds, but lakhs of fans still showed up. No crowd control, no barricades, no plan.
ज़्यादा भीड़ था, रश था, सब तरफ आदमी चढ़ रहे थे एक दूसरे के ऊपर। तो पुलिस ने फिर भी काफ़ी अच्छा काम किया, पर संभाला, फिर भी भीड़ कंट्रोल नहीं हो पा रहे थे।
To be honest, we couldn't even get into the stadium because the crowd was so much. Police were around, but I'm pretty sure even they couldn't handle it. There were a lot of people. Pretty sure they tried their best.
We are not sure as of now. Yeah. I mean, anyway, we tried there, but we couldn't go, even though we had passes.
But I'm sure we couldn't do much.
Just minutes later, even as families waited to identify the dead, the felicitation ceremony went on. The stage lit up, players posed, grief and death outside, celebrations inside.
The capacity of the stadium is only 35,000, but 2 to 3 lakh people have come to participate in the celebration. I ordered magisterial inquiry and I given 15 days time.
Opposition BJP was quick to question the government's haste in holding the event.
I demand Chief Minister to take up the responsibility and he should refer the matter for the judicial inquiry.
Bengaluru should have been celebrating. Instead, the city is mourning. RCB homecoming bled red with another stampede shaming the nation. With Deepak Bopanna, TM Veeraraghav and Haripriya, Bureau Report by Malvika Murli.
Now, while speaking about what happened in Bengaluru today, Chief Minister of Karnataka Siddaramaiah has also said that although he does not want to politicize the matter, he said that 50 to 60 people died in the Mahakumbh Stampede that took place in January. Let's listen into what he said.
ಈ ಥರದವು ಅನೇಕ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪೀಡ್ಗಳು ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ನಾನು ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಥವು ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಕಡೆ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಈಗ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಹಿಂದೆ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನ. ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು 50-60 ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪೀಡ್.
BJP leader R. Ashok has reacted to what happened in Bengaluru today, attacking the Congress party on inadequate administrative arrangements. Let's listen into what he said.
Just one question that I want to ask you. As we continue to look at 11 people now confirmed dead by the Chief Minister himself, multiple people injured. You met the families of those who are injured. Of course, we heard some of them. They're completely emotional right now. The Chief Minister saying, let the BJP do politics, we'll do our work. What do you have to say?
We don't want politics. BJP told to CM, you done the celebration. We are not told any, you do celebration. Why are you blaming me? You came to a hospital. Just 2 minutes. You went away. I am from last 1 hour I am in the hospital. They want dead bodies. You are not given my son life. You give me early dead body. They are asking. They are crying from last 1 hour.
The family members were saying, please hand over the body as soon as possible.
What you done? I called all the DCs. DGP Salim and Dean of Medical College. I telephone. Immediately you have to do. Immediately give the at least body. You are not give the life. At least you give the body. This is the shame to the Congress
the Chief
party.
Minister, while he had a press conference, also said that they didn't expect the kind of crowds that turned up. They thought that 35,000 is a capacity, a little over can come up, but they didn't really expect the kind of crowds that actually came in.
You don't know anything means. Why are you a CM, become the CM? You are not expected crowd. How you become the CM?
Well, let's also get you some exclusive visuals. Fans' frenzy that has been caught on camera. Remember that these are heart-rending visuals of how the stampede occurred. 11 people have died in this, and this occurred around 4 o'clock in the evening. People have been caught on camera. These are panic-stricken people who had just come there to be part of celebrations, but it turned into a tragic incident, a stampede that also led to 11 people dead and of course many others injured. You can see them crying for help. You can see them in panic, and this is absolutely a chaotic situation, something that demands accountability from the administration.
ನಾಳೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇವಾಗ ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು, ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರು ಹೋದ್ರು. ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರು ಸಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ನನ್ನ ಮಗನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ನನಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್. ಇವತ್ತೇ ಬೇಕು, ಇವತ್ತೇ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಳೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಮ್ ಏನು ಬೇಡ ಸರ್, ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ನನ್ನ ಮಗನ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು, ಅದೊಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲಗಿಸಿ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ನಾವು 1 ಅವರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನು ಇರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಗನ ಸಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 22 ವರ್ಷ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತುತ್ತು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಸಾಕಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಧೋರಣೆಯಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಣ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ನನಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ದೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನನ್ನು ಇವಾಗನೇ ನನಗೊಂಚೂರು ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತೆ. ಬರೋದು ಹೋಗೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೋಟಿ ಜನಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
Chief Minister Siddaramaiah there facing some tough questions at the press conference, of course giving out information that the stadium event was organized by the Cricket Association. There were a huge crowd in Vidhan Sauda. Even they did not anticipate the kind of response that they got. But at the stadium there was complete chaos. He was saying that the casualties happened when some fans tried to break through the gates of the stadium, and that's when chaos ensued. But then As a judicial inquiry, as a magistrate inquiry goes on and compensation released, there are serious questions to be raised. The first and the most important, was there a hurry to organize the event, given that it happened only last time and there is a frenzy that one should anticipate when it comes to cricket? RCB, they know the kind of emotion that plays out. Was there a hurry to organize the event in such haste the next day itself without giving enough time to the authorities to prepare or plan for such an event? Because remember, until about 4 o'clock, there were not even traffic diversions that was there. Though there were warnings that was there, several buses were stuck in those crowds outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. The other key question, was there two events necessary? One at Vidhan Sauda and one in quick succession at the Chinnaswamy Stadium? Because the police force is also overstretched and they had to shift from here to there. The Vidhan Sauda event was perhaps better organized, but at Chinnaswamy Stadium, there was very, very little presence of police force before all this played out. The crowds had even come out on the roads with traffic stuck all over the place. Was the stadium event planned badly? That's another key question. Was too much force at the Vidhan Sauda and not at the stadium is another question that we should be raising. The Cricket Association in charge of that event, says the Chief Minister, one has to find out who is responsible for it. In all, after all of this, one final question would also be about fans themselves when they saw that kind of huge crowds. Is a frenzy really worth going through that kind of crowds, which did seem dangerous, which did seem hugely packed outside Chinnaswamy Stadium? So multiple questions, perhaps no answers this evening. Just a sad note at the loss of lives. A day that began with dancing and celebrations for us turned very, very swiftly into one of sadness and tragedy.
These sleepers show the magnitude of the tragedy. So many people have lost their lives. Many of them are critical and some of them are still battling for life. This is gate number 19 of Chinnaswamy Stadium. And this is one of the 4 spots where the stampede had happened. The question is that why did it happen? Camera person Nagaraju, once he pans the camera towards his left, you see a stand P3 annexed. It is written here, and this is the ticket counter. Fans had assembled here. They were in queue since 10 a.m. in the morning, and it was a huge long queue of about 2 to 2.5 kilometers. All the fans were here. Suddenly it was announced that now tickets will be given, and at that stage those people who were standing here outside the barricade, they jumped upon them. Not only this, from there the Karnataka State Reserve Police Force van, you can see on your screen, from there also thousands of people attempted to reach this place, and this is how the stampede happened. Now the Chief Minister has said that he had not expected so many fans would assemble here, but the question is that when the final had happened the previous night, then throughout the night celebrations were happening across Bengaluru and the state as well, and it was a difficult time for the police to control them. Police took 4 to 6 hours to control them. So it was expected, and that is why when it was decided that a mega show will be happened and there will be a victory march, police insisted that this should not happen. It will lead to a big tragedy. Somehow police personnel and officials managed to convince the Home Minister and the Chief Minister and other higher officials that the victory march should not be allowed. So around afternoon it was decided that there won't be any victory march. So police had expressed inability that at a short notice they cannot manage the crowd, and police was very categorical about it. Finally the Home Minister had announced that there won't be any victory march. This stampede has happened, and Chief Minister has ordered for the magisterial inquiry. After the magisterial inquiry we have to see who is going to be blamed. But in such cases we have seen in the past that government, top officials, and those who had insisted on such programs, they have never been held responsible. It is something that the government should learn from this incident so that this could be stopped in future. With camera person Nagraju, Nihal Khidwai for NDTV.
So what really happened in Bengaluru today outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium? What really led to the stampede? Karnataka top cop has submitted a report to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. The DGP's report on the stampede has been accessed by NDTV exclusively. It talks about how fans suddenly gathered around the stadium and also how they gathered around Vidhana Sauda front gate also, and how this incident happened between 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. In fact, there were barricades that broke and people that fell down, but also what really led to the stampede and also people falling unconscious. My colleague Deepak Bopanna spoke to us just a short while ago, and this is what he said.
Happened between 3:30 and 4:30. Fans were trying to enter the Chinnaswamy Stadium. They're saying that a barricade was broken. People fell on each other, resulting in a stampede. There's the incident. 11 people lost their lives, 47 injured. Is the information that was handed over. Based on this, a magisterial inquiry, of course, has been ordered. Jagdish, who's the Deputy Commissioner, the District Magistrate for Bengaluru Urban, he's the person who's been appointed as the inquiry officer for this magisterial inquiry, which has to be now completed in the next 15 days and then submitted to the government. What I'm also picking up about what exactly led to the stampede from, my sources in the police and also some of the eyewitnesses that we've been speaking to is that, there was an issue at some of the entry points. Now, initially, people were told that they'll have to purchase tickets to enter. Then people were told that, there would be free entry for all. Now, when the gate started to, be made open for them to gain access into the Chinnaswamy Stadium, where officially the players were supposed to come and the entire felicitation was supposed to happen there. That's why the maximum crowd had gathered at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. So at that point in time, while announcement was made that it's going to be a free entry, large number of people started to gather at the gate. The police were not too many in number. There were barricades that were put, yes, but that was a single, file barricade of sorts that was put. And when people started to try to gain access inside, it was as if, from all directions, people were being funneled into one area. People experienced a lot of trouble while they managed to get in. People were getting suffocated, people were getting stepped on, people were getting squeezed. Some of them managed to get inside. During this time, as the crowd started to, increase, then a barricade is believed to have fallen down. People who were next to the barricade got trapped under it, were stepped on further, and that's where most of them have lost their lives. Now, a comprehensive inquiry has been ordered. We'll really have to see whether more details emerge from that.
Well, now Siddaramaiah has already announced a probe into the stampede incident. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has announced this independent probe. In fact, the government has also appointed IAS officer, bureaucrat Jagdish G, as the inquiry officer into this incident. He'll be probing what really led to the stampede, and he will be conducting this magisterial inquiry. And this report will be submitted in 15 days, is what we understand.
A lot of people, pretty sure they tried their best, but nobody could handle it. There were a lot of people.
A moment of happiness turning into tragedy. Siddaramaiah sir, what would you like to say to the family?
After a high-stakes diplomatic push across different countries, MIM's Asaduddin Owaisi was part of India's multi-party delegation to 4 important countries, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Algeria and Bahrain, has returned home. He joins us for a chat. Thank you so much, Mr. Owaisi, for speaking to NDTV. Sir, in the last many days, you have emerged as one of the strongest critiques of Pakistan. This is not something new about you. You've always had this approach. But the nations that you went to have also had historic ties to Pakistan. How hard was it to shift the diplomatic needle and get them to hear India's side with fresh ears?
No, these countries which we had been to, they had an historical relationship with India, and we went to a museum in Kuwait where we are shown documents of India's relationship with Kuwait from 1700s. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for I don't know because it has Makkah and Medina for years and years. Same with Bahrain, Algeria. In fact, Pandit Nehru was the first one to stand up in United Nations and ask for self-determination of Algeria, despite Puducherry being under the control of the French. So in that way, yes, India has had historical relationship with these countries which we had been to, but the important point is that all these four countries are members of the FATF organization. And hopefully, I think the next year, if I'm not wrong, Algeria will become a non-permanent member of Security Council. And within these three countries, one is a member or will be a member. So in that way, this was a very important visit. And I must place on record my thanks to the head of our group, Jay Panda, for allowing all of us to put forward our views and points. And everyone had tried the level best to put forward India's case in front of the important leaders of these four countries.
Right. Mr. Owaisi, also many of these countries shape the OIC narrative when it comes to the Organization of Islamic Countries. They have stood by Pakistan in the past, both in terms of funding also. Do you believe that India's push to corner Pakistan on the FATF grey list, something that you've been talking about, is it finally gaining traction?
Well, to put Pakistan FATF, I'm sure the government of India knows much about it better than anyone. But our responsibility was to put forward in front of all these four countries that terrorism survives on this ideology of which even devil would be shy of accepting it, and secondly by illegal money. And we had put forward to them that Pakistan is getting a 2 billion loan from IMF, 40 billion they're trying from World Bank. When we went to Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we had reminded them that the kingdom had given some 2 billion and now they've extended a loan of 12 billion. So where is this money going? Our presentation in front of our interlocutors was that this money is not being monitored. It is going into these core commanders, from core commanders to these terrorist groups, which in turn are killing Indians. So we wanted their help in bringing Pakistan, as it has happened in 2018 and 19. And in fact, I had given an example how when Pakistan was earlier brought into FATF, one person, the main kingpin was Sajid Mir, who was the main planner of 26/11.
Right.
And Pakistan was continuously saying, oh, Sajid Mir is dead. When this FATF meeting was being held in Germany, immediately Pakistan came up and to the surprise of everyone, not to the Indians, but they said, oh, Sajid Mir is alive. And then he was later on convicted. And we also reminded them that from 2018 onwards, till 22, Pakistan was in FATF and there was a close monitoring on their finances. And all the neighboring countries were safe. And in Algeria and in Kingdom, we said that Pakistan has become the epicenter of takfirism, and they don't distinguish between any Muslim or non-Muslim. Because if you see, I think so in May 2000, Riyadh was attacked by Al-Qaeda.
Right.
8 years ago, the Houthis have launched a missile attack at Aramco. And what in Algeria they call a black decade from 1990s to mid-2000, 50,000 people were killed by Al-Qaeda, and now in South Algeria they have a problem with Daesh also.
Right.
So we have told them, look, all of us are victims of this terrorism, and the best you can do is to please, ensure Pakistan is brought in FATF. We have nothing against the Pakistani people, but it is the deep state, it is the military, and these terror groups who are thriving and being aided and promoted by the Pakistani army over there. They should be controlled.